Welcome back, my friends. Today, we begin the legendary journey of Alexander the Great. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episodes. Once upon a time in the ancient world, there lived a young prince named Alexander. Now, Alexander was no ordinary prince. Oh, no, my friends, he was destined for greatness. You see, Alexander was born in 356 BC in the capital of Macedon, a kingdom nestled in the northern part of Greece. His father, King Philip II, was renowned throughout Greece as a brilliant military leader, and his mother, the beautiful and enigmatic Queen Olympias, was deeply spiritual, often channeling the wisdom of the gods through her son Alexander. From the time he was a wee lad, it was clear that Alexander was different. He had the heart of a lion, the mind of a strategist, and an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Oh, and did I mention that Alexander was also the god of wisdom? Yes, my friends, the ancient Greeks believed that Alexander was a true son of Zeus, the king of the gods. Now, as a young prince, Alexander's life was not all horseback riding and sword fighting, though he excelled at those, too. No, his father, King Philip, recognized the importance of a good education, and so he hired the most renowned philosopher of the age, the great Aristotle, to tutor his son. For 3 years, Aristotle taught Alexander everything he knew about philosophy, science, literature, and the art of leadership. It was during these years that Alexander truly blossomed. He absorbed knowledge like a sponge, asking endless questions and always seeking to understand the world around him. But as Alexander grew older, the lessons he learned from Aristotle took root and grew. He dreamed of a world where Greek culture and values would be known throughout the land, and perhaps even the world. And as he looked out over his father's kingdom, he saw the potential for greatness. Macedonia was strong, but it was also isolated. If he could lead his people to conquer the Persian Empire to the east, then Greece would become a true powerhouse. But he would have to wait for his father to pass the crown to him. Except, oh, my friends, fate had other plans. You see, King Philip was not the kind of man who shared power easily. He was a warrior king, and he wanted his son to be a warrior, too. So he sent Alexander on a series of military campaigns to hone his skills in battle. Alexander, eager to prove himself, took to this new task with the same enthusiasm he applied to his studies. He learned the art of war, the strategy, the tactics, and the psychology of his enemies. Then, just as Alexander was coming into his own as a military leader, disaster struck. While campaigning in Asia Minor, King Philip was assassinated by one of his own generals. Suddenly, the crown of Macedonia and the dreams of empire passed to Alexander, who was only 20 years old at the time. Now, normally, this would be a time for rejoicing. After all, Alexander was the rightful heir to the throne. But the problem was that everyone thought he was still too young to rule. Even his own mother, Queen Olympias, believed that Macedonia was not ready for a young king. However, Alexander was not the kind of man to let others dictate his destiny. When the royal council convened to decide who should rule in Philip's place, Alexander made his move. He reminded the council of his father's dream of conquering the Persians and pointed out that he himself was the only one who could carry on that legacy. With that, the council agreed to make Alexander the new king of Macedonia, but they also agreed that he would have to prove himself in battle before he could lead the entire kingdom to war. And so, my friends, Alexander the Great became the king of Macedon at the age of 20, but his reign was not met with joy by all. Some of his father's old enemies were already plotting to take the throne for themselves. And if Alexander was going to prove himself as a worthy king, he would have to stop them. But that, my friends, is a tale for another day. For now, it is time for us to part ways. But fear not, for this is only the beginning of Alexander the Great's legendary journey, and in the next episode, we will see how he faces his first real challenge as a leader. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, my friends, stay curious and I'll see you soon.